The Antenatal Risk Questionnaire is a brief questionnaire that we devise for women in pregnancy to really try and find out a little bit about whether there might be any risks that would put them at greater possibility of developing depression or anxiety, either in pregnancy or after baby's birth.
I had postnatal anxiety and then depression with both of my boys. It was a big shock. I was lucky enough that I was able to have access to St John of God and went into the mother and baby unit.
We ask a little bit about past mental health history. We ask about the quality of her relationships with her partner and her mother. Also any history of trauma, so childhood adverse events.
Those types of questionnaires and what Marie-Paul's doing is really important. I think that's part of it, is identifying it, looking at the risk factors. The more that people can be screened and get the help earlier, the better it's going to be for everybody.
The key to all of this is early screening, and the earlier that you can find out that someone's at risk and get them treatment saves them going through a lot of pain and suffering.
I'd actually moved back in with my parents because I wasn't coping when I'd had my first son, and she brought over a pamphlet all about postnatal depression. The more I sort of sat with it and read about it, I was like, actually this is all the symptoms that I'm feeling.
The hardest thing to do is to admit that you're not coping, but you know, there are people out there who can and will help you.
She may not be aware of it, or she may wish that it hadn't happened and prefer not to talk about it to the clinician. But if the clinician asks in an empathic way, that gives her permission to talk about it, and it gives the signal, the right signal, that we're not just interested in your physical health, we're interested in your emotional well-being.
Postnatal anxiety and depression, it's not something that discriminates, it's not that you've done something wrong. It can happen to anybody, and there's a whole range of reasons why it might happen.
I remember back to that first day when I entered the Mum and Bubs unit and feeling how terrified I was, and now feeling, you know, so much better and more like my old self.
The biggest thing that I always think about is how lucky I was to get the help that I did. It's something that's always stayed with me.
I'm really proud that the team here at St John of God, Burwood, have been able to take those national guidelines forward, improve on the ones that were developed by the team in 2011, really take it to another level.
There's no shame or weakness in getting help, because there's a brighter day ahead.